Hi, I'm Mike Shaman. I'm a captain on ladder 24B shift, and today we are going to talk about sizing up a commercial tilt slab warehouse. The warehouse is located at 37th Avenue in Van Buren, and it's in our first due. We'll be at the station, we'll get a dispatch, we'll get dressed, get on the truck, and we'll start heading in this direction. Some of the things that I'm looking for initially are, when I pull out of the station, is there smoke? Is there a lot of smoke? Is it high in the air? Is the wind blowing it? What color is it? And then we're going to be thinking about a route to get us here quickly. And then depending on how far it is in our away from the station, do I have time to go through certain things on the computer? This is pretty close to our station, so initially I wouldn't go to the computer to look at any tactical type of premises or anything like that. I'm basically going to be thinking about routing myself in and thinking about listening to what the on-scene report's going to be. When we arrive on scene at 37th Avenue in Van Buren, we'll be heading south on 37th Avenue, and we won't assault it. We won't come up on it real quick. We'll be a little bit slower and deliberate in our approach, taking a look around, if there are power lines, what type of access there is to the building, and we'll talk about where our best spot would be. It's we function in a democracy in the truck until the brake is set, and then it's a dictatorship. But I try to get input from everybody as far as what they're seeing, our conditions changing, and what type of access issues we have, if we have any at all. By knowing your first due area, and if you take a good hard look at your first due area wall map in your station, some of the things that can really bite you are problematic type things. Like for us, Grand Avenue is a problematic deal. How you access Grand Avenue and how you access off of Grand Avenue can be problematic for you. So, for instance, in our area, I know that 39th Avenue does not cross over Grand Avenue, whereas in the map it will show that it does. So, you have to be able to make sure that the difficult parts of your area. If you can cross the freeway other than major freeway crossings, that's a good thing. For us, 39th Avenue crosses I-10. That's always something that's really nice to know. The canal, we have a canal that obviously runs through our area. So your addresses, you need to be pretty good about your addresses, whether you're north or south of the canal. If you go to respond to a fire and you're going to roll the dice and hope it's on the south side of the canal, it's on the north side of the canal, now your backtrack and your time delay is significant. So, that's a geographical factor in your first due area that's significant. So we talked about Grand Avenue canals, we talked about the freeways, and then also the railroads. The railroads can be significant in the fact that they can stop you for a very large period of time. So, if you're watching ahead and you're ahead of the game, that if the gates are coming down and you can see which way the train's coming from, you might be able to, help yourself out by going an alternative way. Sometimes that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes it is. So some of the things that you need to be aware of in your area are the geographical pieces that are going to give you problems. We're going to be pulling in the building here, and some of the things we're going to be looking at is whether we can get our truck in here, do we want to get into the back of this building, or do we want to stay on the street? If you take a look around, it's probably going to be difficult for us to do anything from the street because the building is set far back away from the street and usually have power lines or stuff. So we're going to come on in here, we're going to go through the gate. There's a placard there, we're going to take a look at the placard. And now we're going to be formulating a plan based on the on-scene report. What's he telling us as far as the conditions are, and whether or not he's going to secure a water supply. Those are the kind of things that we're thinking about now. We're coming back in here. Looks like we got plenty of room. They got some stuff going on here, but we should be pretty good getting back in here and getting a spot. We've decided where we're going to spot. We're going to go ahead and dismount, back the truck up here, and position our truck in a position where it keeps us in the fight for the long haul. We want to be in a position where we can try and be out of people's way, not be part of the problem, be kind of tucked away and make it a little bit easier for people to get around us and get around the rest of the building. Now that the guys are setting up the truck, what I'm looking for now is I'm looking to see if conditions are changing in the building at all. If the smoke is getting heavier, if it's becoming more pressurized, if the color of it's changing, is the wind direction changing? I'm listening to the I'm listening to the continued reports from interior. Are they having problems making access to the building? Are they in the building? How far they're in the building? What kind of conditions that they're encountering in the building? Those kind of things are going through my head now. I'm also trying to take a look at where we're set up and how we can be the most efficient at getting to the roof. We decided to spot our truck in the center of the building, basically halfway between the east end and the west end of the building. Ideally, they talk about wanting to set up on the corners of buildings and that's a really safe place to be. In this building, it's going to be real difficult for us because there are some geographical problems. There's railroad tracks on the south side of the building, so there's no access from the south side of the building with a piece of apparatus. So your options are either the east end, the center, or the west end. From my feeling, I would rather be in a position where I'm in the fight, like I said, for the long haul. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this center position. If this is the building, and we're going to set up here on being a mid-mount truck, I have all of this area to operate in. If I set up on the corner or out in the street, I'm only going to be effective into this much of the building. If the fire's traveling from this end to this end, I'm going to be out of the fight pretty quickly. Whereas if I'm in the center of the building here, out of the collapse zone, which is 1.5 times the height of the building, then I'm in pretty good shape to be in the fight for the long haul. Some of the things that you want to be able to consider, especially in our truck that's a mid-mount truck, is that I never want to operate over the cab of the truck because it doesn't allow me the ability to sit down on the fire. I want to be able to take my stick and get down on the fire to be able to penetrate and have greater effectiveness with my master streams.